Alright, so the 2022-23 Premier League season is now over with. Now it's time to look back at my predictions, which some are good, some are questionable, and some are oft. So, we'll walk from bottom to top. Bottom three, I predicted Bournemouth, Fulham and Nottingham Forest to go down, and it was Southampton, Leeds and Leicester. That was howling. Forest finished a lot higher up than not really a lot higher up, they just finished above the drop in 16th. Fulham in 10th, and then Bournemouth in 15th. Realistically, it looked like Forest could go down and Bournemouth could go down. They were still within. Forest and Bournemouth, they just got away with it in the end. They hit form at the right time. Ultimately, I didn't think obviously any of the three that got relegated would have. Last one had down was Southampton in 16th, but they just they were the worst of this year. Bottling it. I think they were one of the teams with the most drop points from winning positions. Or around about in the top 3, 4 anyway. So it shows that they just didn't have it this year. Fulham looked like they're on course for Europe this season. Mitrovic's ban basically after getting against United in the FA Cup definitely has proved costly. Came back and you can kind of see they're a much better team with him than without. Moving on to basically the rest of the bottom half of the table. 17th I had Brentford, it was Everton. 16th I had Southampton, it was Forest. 15th I had Everton, it was Bournemouth. Leeds in 14th, West Ham. Villa, then it was actually Wolves. Palace, and it was actually Chelsea. And then Leicester, it was actually Palace. So look at the bottom bit of the table. Not the worst. Palace is pretty much almost bang on. Wolves are just above a wee bit. West Ham, obviously I thought they'd done a lot better. With obvious reason, they didn't. Looking back at just even the bottom half of the table, the way that things went, and the way that everything transpired, Brentford, miles better season. Ivan Toney, obviously now banned until I think it's the 17th of January. Could be a big miss for them next season. Southampton, I thought that even though that their squad was young, they'd have started enough to stay up. Miles wrong. Everton, they just stayed up. I didn't think they would have made as big a deal of it. Didn't think they'd have to go down to the last day of the season to decide it. Leeds, thought they'd done better with their squad. Clearly fucking not. Villa, they looked pretty much on course for being relegated under Steven Gerrard. Brought in Emery, and you've seen this switch. An actual manager with a bit of quality. Don't think he made any actual signings in January under Emery, but I expect to probably go and sign 4 or 5 players and be proper for next season. Once you've got Europa Conference League, I think it's the qualifiers though, not straight group stage. But definitely with the European football, that's going to help out basically. In 12th I had Palace, they pretty much, up till I finished a place above what I said. It was pretty much one of those. They looked the exact same as the other teams below. Under Vieira they didn't look bad, but then turn of the year, after the World Cup, pretty much looked like they could have been involved in a relegation scrap. Hodgson came in, and that was quickly put to bed. Squad for next season, who knows how the manager's going to be. As of right now recording this, I don't know. Who will it be? I don't know. I've not even seen the links. I think I've seen maybe Brendan Rodgers, Jesse March, and somebody for previously managing in France. That's all I know. 11th place are the Leicester, and they were relegated on the last day. Genuinely did not think that would have happened. I knew their squad was depleting. I knew that the owner wasn't really investing in the squad, and it kind of took its toll. Maybe would have thought at the start of the season they'd have been relegated, but it's one of those things. Now, to try and keep their squad in the Championship, Your parents gonna be lucky. You'll probably get Harvey Barnes, Daka, Madison to all get sold. Tillman's away. He's always signing a new contract. So Yunge is away. He's off to Atletico. You'll probably lose maybe Castagna and maybe one or two others. So it's going to be a very big rebuild if they can't convince their players to stay. 10th place I had Brighton. If ultimately Potter had stayed, probably could have seen 10th or maybe about 12th at the end of it. But nobody would have thought that they got 6th place Europa League group stages for next season. Bit insane with that. Under De Zerbi, FA Cup semi-final, playing great football, taking points off the big teams, doing very well. Style of play, everything is mental. You'll expect a good number of their players to leave. I think McAllister is supposedly set to leave and join Liverpool. Moise Caicedo is basically could go to anywhere in Europe basically. Could have, I think, Robert Sanchez is basically going to leave. He's pretty much had his personal problems with De Zerbi. The other ones I don't really know about. But for playing next season, to be able to maintain a European push while also doing a Thursday night and a Sunday, probably early afternoon, you'll have to see a big change in the squad. If they keep their players somehow, and McAllister and all that, Salcedo, and then another 3 or 4 top quality players, whether they're a bit younger or older, you'll be fine. Ninth place I had Wolves. I think they were dead bottom by the World Cup, or 19th. Lopetegui came in, changed it. Right now, when I'm recording this, he's still the manager. Rumours are he could just walk out because financial fair play problems and not being able to be gave the signings that he was promised basically, or the financial backing that was promised basically when he first came in at Wolves. 8th at Newcastle. Thought they'd have done a lot better than last season, and they have 4th place, Champions League football. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job, and you've seen in the quality of play and everything. So yeah, adding another, I think, 3 or 4 players just to maintain pretty much if they're going to get Champions League or any form of European football from now on, 4th, while also maintaining the standard in Europe. The squad, it's not a European squad. You've got somehow Joe Willock, Joelinton, Murphy, Wilson. You've got Dan Burn that looks like a top quality left back when he's a centre back. Like everything will need to change for next season basically. Well, not everything, but a few players to kind of maintain that. 7th place I had West Ham. Now they were pretty much involved in the relegation battle the full way, apart from like last 5 or so games probably where they were starting to look comfortable. In the Conference League final, didn't think they'd dropped off that massively compared to last season, but they did. And ultimately David Moyes was just enough to keep him in the Premier League, which arguably could have been sacked, which Moyes was sacked for a lot worse, but looks like they get on the European final, and looks like they'll lose Declan Rice for next year. Possibly 1 or 2 others could end up leaving, but if you lose Rice, you will need to reinvest that money massively to even make sure you don't get relegated. Because you could go do what Spurs did with the Bale money back in 2013, invest it poorly, and you're pretty much going to be struggling. 6th place, I went with Man United, got 3rd in the end. Start of the season looked a bit ropey, with obviously the Brighton result, Brentford result, but then picked up from there, and you pretty much seen it was just doing it when Spurs fucked it, when Newcastle had a bit of a wobble, and when Liverpool pretty much won a firing. Obviously had Chelsea that absolutely shit, but probably another 3 signings next season. You'll probably say striker with obvious reason, centre back to kind of be the long term replacement for Varane, then probably a central mid, just for when you're going to replace to go for Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksen, just to give one of them a rest. Instead of players playing them all season, or when they're fit and not suspended, Casemiro. And you'll probably get at least third next season, depending on what Chelsea do in the summer. They've just appointed Pochettino, and what Spurs do in the summer, and if Liverpool can kind of strengthen. Fifth place went with Arsenal. Nobody would have thought a title challenge. A lot of people would have thought we're putting them in like the top 4. I didn't think they would, but they did, because Spurs and Chelsea capitulated massively. And Liverpool a wee bit, but strong towards the end, but not enough. Pretty signing another 4 players, basically, because they're set to lose Granit Xhaka to Leverkusen. Supposedly are close to Declan Rice, but generally need 3 or 4 top quality players to be able to push and maintain a Champions League strong campaign. 4th place Chelsea, 12th place shite. Don't think really much else you can say apart from how the fuck they bottled it. Sacked Thomas Tuchel, massive mistake. He's running to win like a Bayern, just. But Todd Boehly's a fanny. Probably Pochettino, he'll probably need to go out and spend 150 million because you'll need a striker. Probably you'll need a new goalkeeper. Maybe a new left back, depends on if Chilwell can keep fit. Your right back probably will be fine as long as Reece James can keep fit. They may be just an absolute scumbag of a holding midfielder basically. 3rd place Spurs, the exact same. They pretty much absolutely fucking bottled it. They were looking fine under Conte, and then Conte went off on his rant after they drew 3-each away to Southampton. And Spurs being Spursy, absolute fucking bottle jobs. First time in a very long time they've not got any form of European football, which will be a very big, probably setback in keeping Harry Kane convinced to stay at the club, unless you somehow go out and get a world-class manager, which, with Spurs, probably not. 2nd place, I went with Liverpool. 5th place they finished. Europa League football for the first time in fuck knows how long. I think maybe like 2015-16 season it was. And yeah, you just seen the quality was there. You seen it's almost like, after last season, pushing the full way in the league, to lose out in the last day of the season to Man City, to possibly be on for a quadruple and absolutely fuck it. And just everything went downhill. They signed Nunes in the summer, Gakpo in January, signed Arthur in the summer on loan, shite, never played a game I don't think. Bergeron go and sign two midfielders, centre back, maybe a forward. Depends on who you're keeping for the forward line and who you're moving on. If you want to try and get back into Champions League next season, because say the standard, you've got United that look well on the up, Newcastle look well on the up, also look like they're firing back again. City are going to be City, Chelsea could recoup, and Spurs depends on what they do, so it could easily be 4-horse race, because I'm not including City. I'm thinking they'll win the league next year again. And ultimately, I thought City would win the league. They did. Completely clear. They looked like they were bottom at one stage, to be fair to Arsenal, but as Gary Neville was right, Arsenal pretty much absolutely bottled it, which was quite funny to actually see. Which they'll do next season. I don't think they'll get close to the title next season. I think this is where City will strengthen 2-3 players in key positions, and they'll go an absolute run riot in the league. Now, going to it, for the awards I went top goal scorer, Haaland, got that correct. Top assister, got that correct. Manager of the year, Pep, probably got to get that correct. Player of the year, Kevin De Bruyne, it wasn't, it was Haaland. Sign of the season, I did say Haaland, pretty much aye. Flop of the season, I went with Richarlison, which was a funny one, because he scored one Premier League goal, and I think 3 others were disallowed for offside, so it's pretty much, it's a flop, so bang on. Overachievers, Wolves, Now, they finished 13th, I thought they've always finished 9th, so not really. Underachievers Brentford, completely the opposite. I thought they'd finish 17th, just avoiding the relegation zone. But we're on course to get Europe, but then kind of just tailed off towards the end, which it was just the experience of the Premier League, really. Go sign a couple more players in the summer, and you'll be chilling. Probably, unless, depends on how they'll miss Ivan Toney for next season. But we'll see how that goes. But with that, overall, difference-wise, in the positions was 90. Extremely massive, but my worst ones are West Ham, Leicester, Fulham, Brentford, Villa, Bournemouth, like Southampton. I had like ones that are like 6, 7, 8, 9 and all sorts difference, but one of those where didn't expect some of it, and it was a weird ass season, especially with the World Cup. Probably hampered a few teams, but probably helped a few teams and all, to be fair. So, with that, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.